In this video, we're going to go over something I find very useful in Photoshop. It's called a Photoshop action. What a Photoshop action is basically you create these little buttons you can click, and after you click that button, it does a whole sequence of events. For example, let's say you want to add a drop shadow to an image, then a bunch of other features to an image, and you needed to do it to like 100 images. Well, you do it to one image, and you record your steps as you go along using a Photoshop action. And then when you go to your next image, you can just click once on that Photoshop action, and it'll do every single step for you. Let me show you how. Right now we're in Adobe Photoshop CS4, and we're going to make sure that our Actions panel is open on the right-hand side. So we're going to go to Window, go down to Actions, and we're going to click on that, and our little action panel will open up here. First thing you want to do when you want to create a new action, right now I've already got a test action. Let's go ahead and delete that. We're going to start that from scratch. I'm under my Actions panel. I want to click on this down arrow with the little lines next to it on the top right of the panel. It's going to open up something like this. And we're going to make sure that button mode is checked, not checked, sorry. Make sure it's not checked. And then we're going to come into our Actions thing, and right here at the bottom of the panel, there's a little folder. If you hover over it for a second, it'll say Create New Set. Well, we want to create a new set. And we're going to name this set. I'm going to name it Test, just like I had before. Click OK. And that's going to create us a brand new folder here. And we're going to place an action inside of this folder. And to create a new action, we're going to click on this paper with the little tabbed corner on the bottom left that says Create New Action. And we're going to name this Test, just like the set is named. And we can add a function key to this if we wanted to just use a function key in order to start this action, but we don't want to do that. We'll just go ahead and click on the action when we want it to work. I'm going to click no function key there. And once I click this record button, everything I do in Photoshop is going to be recorded. That way it's all going to be saved into this action, and later on I can just click on this action one time and it'll do every single step in order how I did my recording right now. So we're going to go ahead and click record. And so now everything I do is recorded, and we are going to start off by clicking on the text tool down here and inserting some text. We've got black text and an impact font, and our caps is locked, and I'm going to type in Web Newbie, and I'm going to check that and say that's okay. As you can see up in the Actions panel, it actually added a new thing under the test action, Make Text Layer, and it's because it's recording every step I take here. I'm going to click on the arrow here, and I'm going to grab the Web Newbie and just center it a little bit so everybody can see. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let's add some style to this layer here by double-clicking on the Web Newbie layer in the Layers panel. I'm going to add a drop shadow behind that Web Newbie, and let's add a gradient overlay maybe, and let's change the colors of this gradient overlay to let's go a blue instead of white. We will choose. Actually, let's just pick that blue. Oops. Let's choose. No, it's not picking it. Here we go. We're going to go back to the blue and do a little lighter blue. There we go. That's what we want. Click OK. And now we just added a gradient to it. Maybe you want to add a little stroke around it. Maybe a white stroke. You can barely see it, but you can hand with the shadow. We're going to make it 4. There we go. Click OK. Now we got a little Web Newbie text here with a drop shadow, a stroke, and a gradient overlay. And if we want to add anything else, let's say we add a new layer even. We're going to drop this layer underneath the Web Newbie layer, and let's add a background color. Background color of black, so we can see this a little better. And I'm going to insert that color there. Can't really see the drop shadow with that, so sure, let's change that color. Let's change it to maybe just a green. Doesn't really matter what the color is. There we go. Here's our finishing product. This is what we want. Every single time we open this new document of 500 pixels in width, and 200 pixels in height. We want a web newbie created with a light green background with the gradient and the stroke and the blue color and all that. We're done. Now we go to our actions panel, we go ahead and click stop, and it stopped our recording. Now we're going, as you can see, it inserted a whole bunch of new things under the test folder. I'm going to go ahead and close that folder down. I'm going to go back into this down arrow with the little lines on it and click on button mode. That means every time we just click on this button of test, it will run that action. So let's go ahead and go to File, New, create a new file with a height of 200. Doesn't really matter, I guess. I'll click OK. And now I'm just going to click on our new action that I just created of test. And what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and create that image for me and every single step involved. It just saved me a whole bunch of time. If I had 100 of these things to do, I don't know why I'd have 100 of these, but you'll find use for this later, trust me. But if I had 100 of these things to do, I just did that one, the second one, in 2 seconds. So go to File, New, OK, click Test. Oh, it's done again. Go File, New, OK, click Test, and we've got our another one here. And that, my friends, is how you create an action. All your actions, if you click on this again, are stored right here. As you can see, I've got a few of them here. And if you want to change your action, all your buttons are right here. You can also go here and load actions by finding some on your, that you saved or downloaded from the web. Lots of different things you can do here. You can clear all the actions. You can reset your actions and replace actions. Basically, you can do almost anything you want with these things. You can add different actions here. Like now I just added a whole bunch of new Crackle Paint actions onto my button list here, and it goes on. And that is how you create an action. Very useful tool. Make sure you use it if you're trying to do a lot of things to one thing, and it'll come in handy. Thanks for watching our video. Webnewbie.com. Go ahead and watch the rest of our videos, and we'll see you next time.